Blair Waldorf woke up early for the biggest morning of her life, her mother's fashion campaign, and Blair was the face of it. Except the dressing room door had a different name on it. Serena, her best friend, who never asked for the job and did not even want it. The reason stung more than the swap. The test shots came back unapproachable, controlled, and perfect. Blair's discipline was the problem. If you have ever been the most prepared woman in the room and watched the room pick somebody else, stay with me. By the end of this video, you will know the one kind of confidence no room can take back from you and exactly how to build it. To understand what happened at that shoot, you need to see what each of these women was running on. Serena's confidence came from the outside in. Rooms lit up when she walked through them, doors opened before she reached for them, and every one of those reactions deposited a little more certainty into her account. It worked beautifully. It also meant her certainty was funded by other people's responses. Blair's confidence came from the opposite direction. She was the planner, the student, the girl with the binder and the 5-year vision. What she had was built, banked, and hers. And that difference matters more than it sounds. Think about the version of you who trained for a year and built a body you are proud of. A stranger calls you fat, and it bounces off because you have proof. Or the version of you who studied while everyone else partied and walked out with the top grade. Someone calls you stupid, and you almost laugh. Evidence does not flinch. That is what earned confidence feels like from the inside. And it raises the obvious question. If earned confidence is this sturdy, why did the room pick Serena anyway? Hold that thought, because it happens again. And the second time, the stakes are Blair's entire future. 1 year later, Blair traveled to Yale for the interview she had rehearsed since childhood. Yale was her dream, her identity, the crown she had been polishing her whole life. Serena did not even want to go there. She was headed to Brown, and she showed up at Yale that weekend mostly to get under Blair's skin after a fight. She still walked straight into a personal invitation from the dean. So Blair sat outside the dean's office, listening to him laugh with her best friend through the door. When her turn finally came, the dean told her the file was impressive, then asked for something interesting that was not in it. And Blair gave the most honest answer of her life. She admitted she would never be the charming one, then told the dean that everything worth knowing about her was in that packet. She was right. It did not matter. The dean brushed her off, and by the end of the visit, the offer on the table had Serena's name on it. Let me say the unfair part plainly. In the short run, rooms are rigged toward charm, so if being good does not guarantee you the room, what is it actually for? For that answer, we leave high school behind and meet the woman who makes grown professionals cry. In The Devil Wears Prada, Miranda Priestly runs the most influential fashion magazine in the world, and almost nobody who works for her would call her kind. She is cold, exacting, and terrifying in a whisper. Assistants burn out and cry in the hallways. And still, the line to work for her wraps around the block because the movie hands you the reason in one famous sentence. 1 million girls would kill for that job. The job is access. Working for the best in the industry means learning what cannot be taught anywhere else, and every single person in that building knows it. But the scene that proves her real leverage comes at the end, in Paris. The company decides Miranda is too difficult and quietly plans to replace her. She finds out, and she does not beg, and she does not soften. She rearranges the board's own chess pieces and hands her rival a different throne. Then she makes one thing clear. If Miranda goes, her designers, her photographers, and her loyalists all go with her. The company does the math and folds. They tried to fire the most disliked woman in the building and discovered they could not afford to. That is the quiet law underneath all of this. When nothing is at stake, rooms choose whoever feels good. When everything is at stake, rooms choose whoever delivers. And once you cross that line, something even stranger starts happening to how people treat you. In Scandal, Olivia Pope is the best fixer in Washington, and she did not inherit the title. She earned it by taking an underdog candidate and putting him in the White House, and she has defended it one impossible crisis at a time ever since. And the detail that matters for us is who ends up calling her. Half of official Washington hates her. They have fought her, smeared her, and sworn her off in public. Then their scandal breaks at midnight, their reputation starts bleeding out, and every one of them ends up dialing her number. When your life is on fire, likability stops being the question. The only question left is who can put the fire out. She answers with 2 words. It's handled. And the panic stops, because her record says it will be. If this video is reframing how you think about being liked, hit subscribe, because we break down the psychology of feminine power every single week. Now watch what else that record buys her. The writers modeled Olivia on a real Washington fixer, and the archetype rings true because the world actually works this way. Competence converts enemies into clients. It also buys her grace. She sets the terms, the rules, and the fees, and presidents, senators, and chiefs of staff say yes to all of it because latitude flows toward the woman who delivers. So let us go back to Serena, because this is where the story stops being about 2 girls and starts being about you. Nothing about her magnetism was fake. We made a whole video on this channel about the mindset underneath it, and every word of that still stands. But there is a catch built into that kind of magnetism, and the catch is the source. Confidence that comes from the room's response is not owned, it is leased, and every lease has a landlord. The photographer who chose Serena in season 1 was always going to want a newer face eventually. The dean who laughed at her jokes gets a new favorite every admissions cycle. Scroll through your own feed and watch the same machine at work. The algorithm crowns a new IT girl every few months and quietly evicts the last one. When the source of your confidence is applause, the audience holds the deed to your self-worth. They can raise the rent, and they can end the lease without notice. Now look at what Blair carried out of that Yale office. The packet did not need the dean's mood, and the proof inside it did not expire when the door closed. Receipts compound while you sleep. Skill travels into every room you will ever enter, and nobody can repossess what you did. The room decides who gets chosen. You decide what gets proven, and that brings us to the part no room can hand you. How do you actually build this? Move 1. Pick your lane the way Blair picked hers. She never tried to compete with Serena at Serena's own game, and you should stop trying to beat the naturally charming at charm. Choose the one arena where you intend to become undeniable and go embarrassingly deep, because depth is what rooms eventually cannot ignore. Move 2. Build the packet. That means finished work, real results, and proof you could physically slide across a desk the way Blair slid her life across the dean's. Every project you complete is a brick nobody can take back out of the wall. Move 3. Deliver on repeat. 1 great performance is luck. 100 of them is a reputation. And reputation is just consistency that other people can finally see. Miranda kept her chair through a coup because she had spent decades being right. And take the Washington lesson with you. Effort is invisible until it becomes results. And results are the only language every room speaks. So here is the question I actually want you to leave with. If every room stopped choosing you tomorrow, what would still be true about you? Whatever your honest answer is, that is your packet. Go make it thicker. Charm will keep getting picked for photo shoots. You go build the thing they call at midnight, stay hot.